Just 60 miles to the northeast, the tropical jungle of Uruapan gives way to the pine forest of the high mountains. And there, in a basin more than 7,300 feet up, lies one of the world's highest bodies of water, Lake Patzcuaro. The town of Patzcuaro lies a mile and a half south of the lake, a colonial capital whose tiled adobe buildings surround two central plazas where churches, municipal buildings, and cafes are the favorite gathering places for the 50,000 people who live here. We're here in the late spring and the day dawns clear. Although rain is expected, the sky remains pristine with only a few wispy clouds scuttering across the blue expanse, chased by winds that will hopefully bring storm clouds and slake the thirst of the parched land below. It hasn't rained here for several weeks, and a cautious optimism pervades the thoughts of the people as they go about their daily chores. We are about to embark on a journey across the lake to its main island, Janitzio, and a gigantic statue of Jose Maria Morelos, one of the great heroes of Mexican independence. This is a very Mexican place. It isn't well known to foreign tourists, and most of the people with whom we share our boat are locals on a day trip, or workers and shopkeepers, or delivery men, loading the hold and any other empty space they can find with boxes of produce or cartons of soft drinks or cases of beer, all destined for the gullets of the pilgrims who will climb the steep streets of the island, awakening hunger and thirst as they go. Did I say delivery men? Delivery boys is more like it. Children barely into their teens carrying ridiculously heavy loads on their straight young backs, watched by bowed and bent old men sunning themselves on park benches, remembering when they were as straight and tall as these, who in their turn will someday occupy the regularly vacating benches and remember. As we wait to cast off, the plaza in front of the docks is invaded by a line of old men hobbling on their canes. Suddenly, remarkably, they begin to dance, slapping their walking sticks on the ground in time to the music provided by a group of musicians accompanying them. These are viejitos, a guild of dancers whose history stretches back for many centuries, and they are not old at all. They only wear old men's masks as they perform a repertoire of jumps, kicks, turns, and slapstick comedy said to parody the Spanish overlords who ruled the land in the wake of the conquistadores. Their masks, in various shades of pink, may humorously depict the color of Spanish faces after exposure to the harsh Mexican sun, but they also may represent far more ancient Indian gods and demons, linking them to millennially old traditions. The true origin of the viejitos is lost in the shadows of time, but their modern incarnations are alive and well, and spry, entertaining locals and tourists alike with elaborate movements and humorous pratfalls, and after amusing us for a while, the dancers move off down the street in search of a new audience. Finally, cargo, gear, and passengers all aboard, the captain starts the engine and we're on our way, skimming across the liquid highway of Lake Patzcuaro, steely blue or slaty gray, depending in which direction you look. 36 square miles of watery beauty, the lake is surrounded by lovely rolling hills and extinct volcanoes. Small islands and sandbars provide resting places for ducks, geese, cormorants, and other water birds, while brilliantly colored kingfishers swoop and dive from overhanging branches. Here a small flotilla of traditional fishing boats with their unique butterfly-shaped nets skims by. The fishermen intent on capturing their daily quota of pescado blanco, minnow-sized whitefish, an ubiquitous Patzcuaran delicacy. Slapped up from the lake, sprays of mist escape the tyranny of the bow wave and become airborne, wafting across the deck and lightly dousing us, making the chilly air feel even colder. At this altitude, even a brilliant sun and cloudless sky can do little to warm the waters of this alpine lake, and we go below, under cover, where it's warm. Mariachis traveling to Anitzio to entertain visitors later decide to entertain us now and maybe pick up a few extra pesos besides. The wail of the brass, the dolorous sounds of the strings, and the plaintive cries of the singers mirroring the suffering of the Mexican campesinos echoes across the lake just as it has echoed across the centuries, too powerful to be drowned out by a mere boat engine.